Okay, so am I audible? Is it breaking? Great. So, how many of you are from AI or is the full audience from proper PostgreSQL core? Do we have anybody from AI? So this is great. I have an audience who will believe whatever I say. Okay, so I have prepared, it's breaking, right? So I have prepared a PPT wherein I have tried to cover as basic as possible. I have not gone into any jargons, but I'll try to cover. Please stop me anytime. Anytime, yeah. Anytime. I think better you can use this one doesn't like me. Should I, yeah. Okay. Definitely this is not liking me. So anytime should I don't like staying at a point. My legs are kind of hurting now. It asked me to walk. Do you hear me well? I think without my voice, they are audible, right? So my voice is audible now? Yes, it's audible. Okay, so I'm far better without the mic. Okay, so anytime I go little deep, because considering that my experience is not more towards PostgreSQL and more towards AI, I might say words that might go like this. So stop me. Otherwise, I see your face. I recognize that you're not capturing what I'm saying. I'll ask questions back. Okay? So I have been given 25 minutes time. I have a tendency to go kind of hours and hours. So somebody should show me time as well. Okay? So that you're here for that. Okay. I'll keep looking at you.
You want pointer?
Not a problem. I'll just. No, my PPT is very less. Okay. So my PPT is very minimal. I'll just walk you through the basics of what happens on an LLM-based system, right? How many of you have used ChatGPT, Grok, blah, blah, blah for your white coding and all that stuff? So this is great, far more enough for me to get started. Now I'll go to the next question. How many of you have used any chat app that you see on websites, right? Right? Yesterday I booked a ticket in budget app, okay? As the name says, it was for budgeting. Then I had a problem where I could not download my boarding pass. Okay? Now I went into budget app and there was a chat prompt. Okay? It said, talk to me for resolving all your issues. I pinged it. It said, tell me your problem. I said, I'm not able to download my boarding pass. Then it gave me a response back saying, oh, for boarding pass, go here, click here, click here. I said, I did all. The boarding pass that got downloaded is correct. What do I do? It said, oh, that's a great problem to solve. Great problem to solve. So then it said, now you go to this link, click here, you can download your boarding pass. I said, I've done that. My problem is, the file that I downloaded is correct. Again it said, oh, go there, click here, click here. See, that's when I got frustrated, right? So now I have a chatbot which is supposed to be human-like, and it checks the humanness of anybody who is going to try to download a boarding pass, right? The chatbot, if it was before our independence, would have easily thrown out British in a couple of clicks. So what happens there is a chatbot which is designed to respond to my queries, but it is based on set of rules, right? With the advent of LLM, Gen AI and things, now things are changing. Things are getting a little more mature, right? But with this problem statement, tell me, any one of you, will an LLM solve my problem? Or will it be able to give me an answer for this particular problem where my boarding pass is correct? It will not, because LLM has all the knowledge, but LLM does not have the knowledge of how budget, I should not be using the term, but how a particular operator works or a particular scenario is. LLM knows how to understand my question. LLM knows how wisely to answer it, but for it, what does it need? Information. So that information is given using something called as RAG. So RAG is basically the information that we give to LLM about the current status, saying, okay, you have all the knowledge to understand English queries and answer the queries, but you need to know what's happening currently to properly answer a particular question, right? That part is given by RAG, right? So when I ask you this, where do you find information? You're all PostgreSQL guys, right? So where is the information?
Database.
Consider the same scenario. It is on your databases, right? So for any LLM based application to work as per the need, the data is needed, and the data is sitting where? On your databases, right? Apart from your databases, you also have other places like user documentation, manuals, your websites, and all places where the data is there. So what is the key difference between the data that you have in your database and those database data that I was talking about? Your database is usually very structured. These are non-structured English text natural languages. So now an LLM needs both flavors of structured relational data, unstructured natural language, right? If I can combine these two, and then in our case we do a little bit of machine learning and all, if I can combine these mission insights, structured language, relational data, unstructured English, and give it to LLM, now LLM will tell me, this is a prone problem in our website, your boarding pass will be corrupt, don't worry, go to the airport, you can get it from their boarding site, right? So at least that is guiding me to the right direction, because now LLM has the knowledge of what a company is going through, right? As soon as you have this ability to capture structured data, text data, machine learning data, and feed it to your LLM, it works flawlessly, it becomes more human-like, right? Am I clear up to this point, or am I making you sleep before lunch? Usually I try to get topics before lunch so you don't sleep, at least you feel hungry, so you keep watching me. At least to know that I'm going
When
to
you leave.
How would the chatbot validate that your statement is true, that the path is actually trusted? Because it might have the access to database.
Correct.
And something that it can actually download.
So there are cases, right? So it's how well you design your system, right? One, your database is going to give you an answer saying, in case there are any transactional errors, if I capture the wall logs, if I capture the transactional data, it might show me an information saying, okay, there is an error where the insert statement failed, or something of that sort. Or if I also have the application layer level details, the application would have said, this particular insert statement that I sent to the DB has failed, right? So it is how well I design my ecosystem where it can answer all the queries. And no system is going to be full 100% pakka. There are going to be places where I'll have challenges addressing things, I need to patch the system and all. But overall idea is, when you architect an LLM solution or a GenAI solution, it's very critical that you think about all the aspects of it and make sure your data is available to it. Okay, so this is something that I have put in. Okay, I'll show. So this is a primary slide I have. After this, I have a quick demo, which might work, might not work. It was working until I was sitting there. So there is a very 100% chance that it will fail here. So I'll just quickly walk you through at a very high level for a non-AI person, a database person, right? So as I said earlier, now my voice is getting picked, right? As I said earlier, yes. So as I said earlier, you will have data of different formats, PDFs, websites, content management systems, and all that stuff. Usually they are all large, right? The first thing that happens is we get the data, we cut it into smaller chunks. There are a lot of algorithms and logics that we put in, but at a high level, we cut the data into smaller chunks, and then we do something called as embedding. Have you ever heard of embedding? What does the embedding do? Sorry, any one of you? So what is an embedding? You will give the mic. No answer is the wrong answer. Even I just do things that I thought. So anyone can volunteer. What do you understand about embedding? it's a data representation, meaning, so what happens is, I'll just give you at a very high level again, now technical terms. So when I say, I ate orange, what is orange here? I ate orange chocolate. What is orange here? Color. Right? So when you insert it as a data, orange becomes a static scalar or a string. Right? When an embedding is done, it performs analysis over this data. There are transformer models which understand them and then put this on a vector space. What is a vector? Obviously, I should ask this question because I am talking about pgvector. What is a scalar, vector, tensor? Dimensions of data, right? Scalar is a unidimension. Vector is a single dimensional matrix. And tensor is a multi-dimensional general term of matrix, right? So, what is a vector? So, consider it this way. Think of it as the Matrix movie that you have seen, right? Most of the Gen Zs might have not seen. So, vector databases are like huge number of matrices. However, for each of those locations where the item is placed, right? This orange gets placed in a place where it will have other vectors where it says color, fruit, whatsoever it is, right? So when I say I ate orange fruit, this embedding system understands or goes into this DB and understands that it matches more towards the color, not towards the fruit. And then understands when it sends back, okay, I understand you ate a chocolate, right? So embedding is nothing but get a raw text, convert it into vectors or one-dimensional arrays, and then make them on spaces, put them on the spaces, and make sure they have relevancy between each other on the space. Okay? And then when I search a vector DB uses the space between the words and the statement and understands this is what I asked, this is what is closest matching to it. Right? When I say today, nowadays it is hotter in India or Hyderabad, right? When I say this, the vector DB will go and search for all the relevant terms that is matching it. It will come back with global warming. But in my term, I never search global warming, right? On the vector database, it will have all the mappings which says, okay, these are the words that are matching and this is how it is coming. So am I going off head now or within sense? Makes sense, right? Okay, so what happens? Our data is cut into pieces called as chunking, and then we do it something called as embedding, and then we put it under vector DB, right? And below it, we have our relational database, right? Relational database gives all the transactional info of what's happening in the current system. And then we have lexical search. What is lexical search? It's similar to your relational search, but it can search through phases, and it can search through a series of keywords, right? So, for a proper working LLM system, these three components, right, are critical to have, right? So now tell me, what will be my tool of choice if I need to have all these three? Postgres, obviously. So obviously it is Postgres because we are in that session, right? But there are a few other reasons as well. Usually the challenge that we have on these systems is we have too many tools that we use. Databases, PostgreSQL, this vector DB comes in from some other files or Redis or whatever it is, and then lexical search comes from OpenSearch, Elasticsearch. You have too many moving parts, which makes managing an LLM system much harder. Fortunately, the power of PostgreSQL, the community, right? They have come back with a lot of utilities. Today, all three of these components can be handled just using PostgreSQL, right? PostgreSQL provides relational queries. PostgreSQL provides pgvector. Lately, it also provides something called as pgvector scale, which is scalable solution. It has, you would have heard TS vector, right? So it provides your lexical search as well. So what I can do is when I query a database or when I have my RAG created, I can do something called as hybrid search, which will search all three and give the feedback to LLM. Got it? Are you with me up to this point? So if you feel sleepy, you're going to miss your lunch. Okay, I'll quickly go into a demo. As I said, it might work, might not work, and I'm depending on the Okay, so before going in, I'll show you the code, quickly say what I'm doing, and then I'll run into the demo, okay? So there is something called as insert drag. Sorry, I'm a Linux guy. Oh, I'm not showing it. Give me a second. I'll show you, I'll show you. I'll extend it, yeah. Oh, it went no signal.
Duplicate, you can go with the duplicate.
That's better, isn't it?
Because again, I think already it's open.
Oh, it automatically changed.
I think this should be fine. You can just
No, it didn't change it.
no, just keep it change. Oh, it's touch up.
So it's a Python script that it's very small, right? Is it visible? I don't know how to zoom, that's a question. Okay, so if you could see, I have my text. Basically, I'm trying to show you as if I have a retail app like whatever we have, right? So here I'm talking about two things. One is my headphones, and there is a running shoe. Okay, this thing I'm inserting it as my text rag. Okay, text content. And as you could see below, there will be sections where, okay. So this one, I am just inserting it to my text, and then here you see I am chunking it into pieces, right? As I showed on the PPT. This one will give me the information about the text data. And I have, where am I? Yeah, I have database insert query where I'm creating tables and inserting couple of records around the status, right? The status of that, status of the orders that have been placed, and then what is it, right? Now I will talk to I use a framework called as LangGraph, which is a conversational tool that I can build using, build for an LLM system, right? So let me quickly get started. I don't know how well this will work. It needs a little bit of internet. How are you today? How are you today? It needs internet to connect to my LLM. And somebody called me exactly when it was trying to connect. Okay, while it is waiting, I think it's waiting for the LLM to return back. But while it is waiting, you see, right now my database is empty, the relational database is empty, and it doesn't have the information of what is the current status of the order that I'm trying to track, right? It might be able to answer me let me kill it and run it one more time so it kind of gets internet. So I've intentionally kept my relational database empty. So it will try to answer. I have inserted the RAD data, so it will try to answer with the RAD data, but it will not have the context of what is happening real time right now on the system, right? Karma. Okay, let me give it a few seconds. Something is wrong with my internet, and it says 5G full. Okay, so let it come. So what happens now, I have built a chatbot, a voice assisted chatbot, where I can ask questions to my LLM, get answers of what is happening. More than the RAD data that I supplied, for me, the critical part is my relational database, where the active transactions are happening, right? Because I can explain how my running shoes are going to be, how my headphones are going to be. But if the customer asks, where is my shoe right now, right? Again, my LLM will say, I wanted to show you that. My LLM will say, I don't have that context, but I can explain you about the running shoe, which I am not yet getting. My worry, I know my running shoes. My worry is, where is my running shoes, right? So that data comes in from our database, right? So my main point that I wanted to bring up here is, if you have a PostgreSQL ecosystem where your production data is running, do not think about using some other vector database and lexical search. Lately, the community has come up with proper extensions that can extend your PostgreSQL DB and then make sure they can get all the features for you directly from PostgreSQL, right? So if you are already working on a PostgreSQL ecosystem, talk to your AI team, tell them that, experiment with what we have here, and then make sure you can build an end-to-end ecosystem around PostgreSQL. For some reason, it is not even getting exited. I will try it with my other laptop, which is an Ubuntu system. You will hear a very awkward human voice. Somebody keeps calling me so that my internet gets cut. Laptop. Yeah, some hotspot that can, because somebody is calling me, so it gets cut. Oh. They are not going to let me free. How are you today? I think I know the problem. Now it works, but I got my speaker muted. How are you today?
Just a language model, so I don't have feelings or emotions like humans do, but I'm functioning properly and ready to help with any questions or tasks you may have. How about you? Is there anything I can help you with today?
Where is my running shoes? This is the typical boarding pass problem. Wait, two different, okay. Okay, so it's a internet problem. So what happens is now the LLM will come back saying, I don't have any clue where your running shoe, but I can explain about your running shoes. So I don't want to have an explanation about my running shoe, right? Something is happening. Okay, so while it is running, I'll just explain this. You can also do a little bit of projects on your own. I'm using something called as Grok. Again, this is not about any specific vendor or whatever it is. Wherein earlier I used to run my LLM on my local machine where it eats all my capacity, and then I was struggling to type even a single word. So what happens is these guys give APIs that you can call this external guy. He will run all the LLM for you, and then he'll respond to the answer. So lately I'm able to produce or prepare sleek use cases where I leave the uploading of LLM to these folks. Okay, so they give free license or free tokens for us, but today they are not willing to answer my query. So yes, somebody copies it. Fate is yes.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So first question is about, I understood it around the inference or the semantic search part, right? What kind of algorithm should I use? So semantic search, you need to weigh in between the accuracy and the speed, okay? And primary thing that you need to do is make sure you, so lately people what they are doing is they are creating per persona vector store. The problem that we usually have is people dump everything on a vector DB. I ask a question which is not at all related, right? I ask what is happening between Russia and some other country. It is not at all needed, and you have data for that also. This is a typical problem. So what you need to do is you need to make sure you have a proper segmentation on your vector store. That is first. Second thing, the semantic search can be fastened. So ANN, Microsoft, so there is a extension called as pgvector scale and pgAI. You go and look into it. So Microsoft has come up with a newer, while we are waiting, I can show that page as well. Again, that's an PostgreSQL community extension. Okay, I just went to some other page. Forget it, I'll try to. So what happens is you can have the latest ANN algorithms. There is one from Microsoft which is also open source, which is called as Deep ANN, which pgvector scale has, wherein the search speed has been tremendously increased. I'm just trying to see if that is seen somewhere here. I think it is inside pgvector scale. See, this is a typical example that solves your problem, right? See, there they are comparing between what Pinecone is providing and what the disk ANN is providing. So there is somewhere around 28 times lower latency than the Pinecone version. So there are extensions that have come up lately which can enhance your semantic search speed. However, it starts at the data. You need to make sure proper segmentations are put in place. The second question that you asked, I have a relational database, right? So the problem that I have is somebody asks, you ask me some status question, please. Ask me something about any status. When somebody asks a question, right, I need to convert it into an SQL statement, right? What happens usually is, he asks, when will you finish, right? I put a select star from this status, and then it pulls all the data, right? So again, I was actually surprised to see the PGAI guys are handling natural language to SQL query. They are maintaining a catalog which can give you the exact SQL query to pull your relational data, right? Relational database, yours is mostly more than a database. I have extended to become a data lake. So if you perform a long running query, your system is going to be impacted. And again, that's a different topic. People have already talked about how to manage your PostgreSQL DB and manage your long running queries. But from the AI perspective, we need to make sure data is properly segmented. We need to make sure the intent is captured and the database is according to it, right? I'll give a last try now. If it fails, consider that the demo went well. Pray that nobody calls me now. Where is my running shoes?
Track your order, including your running shoes. Visit the website, enter your order ID, and check the status in the tracking portal.
So what it has done? Okay. Can you check the status for me? stuck. Forget it. The second time it goes, my provider is getting angry for some reason. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll do a insert statement of that current status, and then I'll run the same thing again. Something is happening. See, when I run Docker PS, do you see multiple databases running? I only have one database running, PostgreSQL 16, right? It handles my vector part, it handles my relational part, it handles my lexical search part. So the primary advantage of going with this ecosystem, you have one solution to look into, right? When something fails, you put the blame on internet and continue. So now I'll do the insert to my database. I don't have that inter query. Why is it not letting me in? Let me quickly see why it is failing. Just give me a couple of seconds. Let me check few things on my side. I have 4 more minutes. I'll close within that. Just give me a couple of seconds. last. Okay, I have inserted the data. Now I'll ask the DB for the same question, my LLM the same question. Where is my running shoes?
Your order. Visit our website, enter your order ID, and check the status in the tracking portal. This should give you the most up-to-date information on.
Hold on, I think here again it is going through the same thing. It is because my SQL statement is not pulling data. Again, I did a quick change to make sure it fails. Let me change it quickly. I'm just taking this out, so I don't have any select statement. Okay, done, finished, done, finished. Where is my running shoes order? Forget it. So the overall idea is with the relational data in, you will be able to have the up-to-date data, right? With the RAG data in, you will have the contextual data. Because PostgreSQL provides all of them in a single place, I'm just waiting for it to say, speak now. It is ideal. Where is my running shoes order? So it's ideal to have, when you have a PostgreSQL ecosystem, go with pgvector scale. Also review the possibilities
Track
of.
your order. Visit our website.
This is my
enter your order ID
crappy site.
and check the status in the tracking portal. This should provide you with the most up-to-date information on the location and estimated delivery
Okay.
time of your
So again,
running
this is
shoes
my
order.
boarding pass problem that I'm having now. Forget about it. But the typical use case is final statement. If you have a proper production-ready PostgreSQL system, utilize those open source extensions to capture the features of AI as well, including the Gen AI features. Done. Any questions or yeah?
How do you differentiate that a question should be sent to LLM or should be sent to database?
So this thing that happens here, right? It happens even before going to an LLM. Your question is, in case a RAG already has an answer, why would I go to an LLM? This is the same question that I asked a couple of years ago. But here LLM comes into a picture where it remembers your transactional queries. See, if it is a single query, single answer, RAG vector DB should be more than enough. But usually we have questions that follow. And we need an LLM to understand the context or the user intent and then give an answer according to it.
My question is that you have a question like where is my running shoes, right?
Correct.
Then how does it know that it has to pick the SQL query and it's not go to the RAG model?
Yes. So that's why I answered somebody else, right? So what happens is, the utilities like PGA and all, they have a module which understands this is a natural language I can convert it into an SQL query. But in most cases, what we do is we try both. It performs something called as an hybrid search, where it tries both relational data and the vector data. But it also orders the relevancy to the answer and then gives it to an LLM. Right?
All this has been done by the pgvector, I think.
pgvector or pgvector scale is a vector database.
Yeah.
The PGAI is a wrapper that they have built around it, where it has all this intelligence around it. In my case, I have not used PGAI, but I have used a framework called as LangGraph, which can facilitate the same.